from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka. Good evening, this is the National News Broadcast coming to you live from the Rupavahini studios. Bringing you your stories for today is Clifford Richards and I'm Shra Masquinius. First, it's a look at the day's headlines.
Minister Susil Premajand requests not to obstruct the GCE O-level examination. Steps have been taken to give prior information to filling station managers when issuing fuel stocks. A house of a filling station owner at Ipurogama area has been attacked. Petroleum Distributors Association requests the government to provide security to strengthen the fuel distribution process. India provides another humanitarian assistance of 2 billion rupees. Parliamentarian W.D. Veerasinghe inspects the burnt house. Samagi Jana Balavega says it is not suitable to conduct an election at this time. Labour Party wins the Australian general election. A Sri Lankan also wins.
On to the main story for today. Now, the GCE O-level examinations is taking place tomorrow. Parents, students, as well as invigilators and everyone who's involved goes through a tremendous pressure over the last couple of days. However, the Education Minister has a very special message.
Oh yes, Sharon. Minister Susil Premajand has requested to give priority when issuing fuel to vehicles that transport education officials and also vehicles of parents who take their children to the GCE ordinary examination. He expressed these views during a media briefing today at the Government Information Department. Minister Susil Premajand said that more than 25,000 deployed for duty have been provided with necessary facilities. He said that even the LTTE did not disrupt examinations. He said that he knows it since he was the then Minister of Education.
දරුවෙක් නම් යාගේ ඇඩ්මිෂන් කාඩ් එක මෙන්න මේවා තියෙන අයට ප්‍රමුඛතාවයක් දෙන්නයි කියලා ඕනනම් දෙක පෙරම්හලකට 10ක් 15ක් එයි අපේ නිලධාරීන් ඊට වඩා එන්න විදිහක් නැහැ මොකද 1190ක් පෙරම්හල් රට පුරා තියෙනවා එන්නේ එන 10 12ට ඒ ඒගොල්ලන්ට දීලා තියෙන ලිපිය අනුව ප්‍රමුඛතාවය දීලා ඉන්ධන ටික ලබා ගන්න දෙන්න මොකද අද දවස් තුලදී විභාග ශාලාධිපතිවරු මේ විභාග ශාලාවල් වලට ගිහිල්ලා ඒ ශාලාවල් සියලු දේ සම්පූර්ණ කරන්න ඕනේ අද දවස් තුලදී හෙට උදේ 8:00ට මේ විභාගය ආරම්භ කරන්න තිබෙන නිසා ඒ නිසා මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා තමන්ගේ අපහසුතාවෙන් තියෙන බව අපි දන්නවා අපි මනුෂ්‍යත්වයෙන් හැටියට සලකලා ඒ අයට අවකාශ දෙන්න දරුවන්ට මේ විභාගයට යන්න මම මෙහිදී සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ කිසිම අවස්ථාවක LTT සංවිධානයේ පවා අපේ රටේ කිසිදු ප්‍රසිද්ධ විභාගයක් දරුවන්ගේ කඩා කප්පල් කරන්න බාධා කරන්න කිසිදු උත්සාහයක් දරුවේ නැහැ ඒ කාලේ මම අධ්‍යාපන මැතිතුමා සාදන්නවා යාපනයේ දූපත්වල පවා විභාග මධ්‍යස්ථානවල විභාග තිබ්බා මේක දරුවන්ගේ වැඩක් පාසල් දරුවන්ගේ අපේ මානව සම්පතේ වැඩක් කියන එක කාරණේ මම සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ අපි ඇත්තටම වෙනදා වගේ
Meanwhile, Commissioner General of Examinations LMD Dharmasena said that the officials have been requested to report for duty early. If a child cannot arrive at the examination center on time, instructions have been given to provide the child with necessary time. The public transport is needed to conduct the examination. Permission is given to wear the usual uniform.
අවදි වෙලා දරුවන්ව සූදානම් කරලා පාරට ඉතා ඉක්මනින් යන්න අපි උපදෙස් දීලා තිනවා කවුරු හරි දරුවෙකුට නියමිත වේලාවට විභාග මධ්‍යස්ථානට යන්න බැරි වුණොත් ඒ දරුවා වෙනුවෙන් ඒ අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙන්න කියලා. මහජනතාවගේ සහාය මේ සඳහා ඒ වගේම හිජාබ් අඳුම සම්බන්ධයෙන් අනවශ්‍ය ලෙස සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම මුහුණ වසාගෙන ගියොත් ගැටලුවක් වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා සාමාන්‍ය ඇඳුම නිල ඇඳුම පාසලට යන ඇඳුම අඳින්න අවසර තියෙනවා. ඒක කිසිම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Private Bus Owners Association, Gavin Vijayaratne, said that more buses will be operated tomorrow for the students who will be sitting the GCE ordinary level examination. Moving on with more local stories, Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara says that the manager of the relevant filling station will be informed if and when fuel stocks are being transported from the Kolonnawa or Muthurajawala depots.
He said that the time of those full stocks reach the filling stations will be available through the method. The minister has mentioned this in a Twitter message in which also said that the quantity of fuel and the category would be informed. The Twitter message of the minister said that 40,000 metric tons of diesel were brought to the country last night under the Indian credit line. Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara made a sudden inspection tour of the Kolonnawa distributing terminal yesterday. He inspected the distribution of fuel and discussed plans to distribute fuel. Discussions also took place with the military officers who are monitoring the process. Inquiries were made on informing the filling station owners when the tankers moved towards the filling stations and the program to provide security. Attention was paid on the problems and the needs of the tanker drivers and assistants. Long queues were seen near filling stations today as well. Filling stations in the Polonnaruwa district received full yesterday. Our reporters said that there were long queues near filling stations at Hanguranketa area. After several days, filling stations in Vaunia issued full today. Filling stations in Nepavala town have received full. Long queues were seen yesterday near the filling stations. People in Batapola town were staying in queues from early morning. Batapola Nindana area residents gave them tea with the assistance of the traders in the town. One fuel pump of Middania filling station has been allocated to provide fuel for vehicles of students who are sitting for the GCE O-level examination. Facilities have been provided to get fuel by presenting the admission card. Tension prevailed near a filling station in Tangol, Beliata Road following an assault of a person who was staying in queue. After a while, the fuel was issued as usual. Youth in Danketia area gave a soft drink, Dansala as well. Puttalam area have received full stocks. People were staying in long queues and police and the army have provided security. The filling station belonging to Pannala Katugampola Cooperative Society commenced issuing fuel yesterday for workers engaged in essential services. Fuel is being distributed continuously for filling stations in northwestern, north and north central provinces through the Kurunagala Wholesale Storage Complex of the Petroleum Corporation. Litro Gas Company said that they are distributing 8,000 gas cylinders island-wide today. They said 60% out of that will be distributed in Colombo and Gampar districts. Information about the gas agents to purchase gas can be obtained from the official Facebook page of the company. A businessman has been arrested for hiding gas cylinders in a bakery at Kolonnawa area and selling those for higher prices. Colombo Crimes Division said 40 gas cylinders were found. Public Utilities Commission has issued a special timetable to disconnect electricity from tomorrow on the 1st of June. The Commission said that power cuts will not be imposed today and tomorrow due to the GCE O-level examination, which commences tomorrow.
GCE ordinary level exams will commence from tomorrow to 1st of June, and we have made many efforts to make sure that during this examination period and during the nights that there will not be any power cuts. That is in order to support the students. More than 517,000 students are sitting for O-level examination this year. We need to make sure that we will have minimum interruption to the power to electricity in order for our students to study and maybe sit for their exams. And therefore, the schedule of power cuts with minimum disturbances is given in our websites, and consumers can refer to our websites and see what are the times that power cuts will exist. And the main reason of this press briefing is to make an appeal to the public to refrain from blocking the roads especially during the examination time, for our students to travel freely and go back to their respective places. Because if we now say, we have seen many roads were blocked due to many demands and the protest, and if we continue to do so from tomorrow to during the examination period, our students will get disturbed, our transport system will get disturbed, and therefore they will not be able to attend to their examinations and go back to their homes. And therefore the Public Utilities Commission, as the regulator for the electric industry, who's trying our level best to minimize the power cuts during the examination period, have a special request and appeal to the public to refrain from blocking the roads, especially during the examination period, for students to move freely up and down.
Well, we have more news related to the fuel issue. Petroleum Distributors Association, they say that they need security to strengthen fuel distribution process. During a media briefing yesterday, they said that certain organized groups at filling stations are committing disrupting activities. Therefore, they said those parties are obstructing the normalization of the fuel supply. Chairman of the Petroleum Distributors Association, Shelton Fernando, requested the public to purchase fuel peacefully. He said that filling stations are given a limited quantity of fuel. The co-secretary of the Petroleum Distributors Association, Kapila Nautuna, says that it has become difficult to ensure security of their employees. He said that if it continues, providing fuel to the consumers can be disrupted. He further said that certain distributors have suspended orders after experiencing violence.
නිසා අපි කාර්නිකව ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ පාරිභෝගික ජනතාවගෙන් මේ කලහකාරී කණ්ඩායම් සමග එකතු නොවි තමන්ට අවශ්‍ය ඉන්ධන ප්‍රමාණය ලබා ගැනීමට කටයුතු කරන්න. වාර්තා වුණා කැලණිය ප්‍රදේශයේදී බවුසර් රථ දෙකක් හරවා වෙනත් පිරෝම්හලක් වෙත ගොස් ඒ පිරෝම්හලට මේ ඉන්ධන ලබා දීමට තැත් කරා. ඊට අමතරව වේයන්ගොඩදී බෙදා හැරීම අඩපණ කිරීම සඳහා බවුසර් රථයක් ගිනි තැබීමට උත්සාහ කළා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම තිරුකුණාමලය, පානදුර, කැස්බෑව ආදී පිරෝම්හල් වල ඉතාම කලහකාරී ලෙස හැසිරලා ඒ පිරෝම්හල් වලට දරුණු ලෙස පහර දීම් වාර්තා වෙලා තියෙනවා. දැනටමත් ඒ කලහකාරී තත්ත්වයන්ට දරුණු ලෙස මුහුණ පාපු බෙදුම්කරුවන් ඇනවුම් කිරීම නතර කළා තියෙනවා. නමුත් මේක දිගින් දිගටම ගියොත් අපිටත් අපේ සමාජිකයන් සහ සමාජිකයන්ගේ සේවකයන් ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීම සඳහා විශේෂයෙන්ම ඉන්ධන ඇනවුම් කිරීම නතර කිරීමට සිද්ධ වෙනවා.
A certain group has set fire to a house of a fuel station owner at Kakirawa Ipologama area, stating that the fuel was not given. They have set fire to the house around 10 p.m. last night after a lengthy argument with the owner. It is reported that they have set fire to the house only when the wife and 2 children were home. They have not been injured in the fire, but a part of the house had been completely destroyed. The owner of the filling station, Gayan Tilkavardhana's only child, or one child rather, is sitting for the GC O-level, which commences tomorrow. His books and documents have been destroyed. Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara also expressed views about this incident yesterday. The minister said that the decision has been taken not to distribute if there is violence or transport is disrupted at a filling station. He said this is being done in an organized manner. The owner of the filling station linked to the Valigama incident is a JVP Pradesh Sabha member. He said that diesel will be allowed to be unloaded only if petrol is received. They cannot be allowed to take the law into their hands, he says.
In other stories, police say 1,500 persons have been arrested in connection with the incidents on the 9th. Police media spokesman SSP Nihal Thalduwa said 677 out of them have been remanded. Police media spokesman SSP Nihal Thalduwa said that during the past 24 hours, 152 suspects have been arrested. Police have bailed out 101 after being produced in court. Another 39 suspects have been remanded by the court.
නම දෙනෙක් ගරු අධිකරණය මගින් රක්ෂිත බන්ධනාගාරගත කොට තිබෙනවා. මේ දක්වා අත්අඩංගුවටගත් මුළු සැකකරුවන් සංඛ්‍යාව 1500ක් පමණ වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම රක්ෂිත බන්ධනාගාරගත කොට තිබෙනවා. මේ අත්අඩංගුවටගත් සැකකරුවන්ගෙන් 677 දෙනෙක්.
The house of former State Minister Nimal Lanza was completely destroyed during the recent incidents. He came to inspect the house today in Negombo. A certain group has set fire and destroyed Sri Lanka Podujana Perumna Ampara District MP W.D. Veerasinghe's house on the 9th night. He inspected the house today.
Leader of the Jathika Janabalawege, MP Andukumar Dissanayake, says that all 225 in Parliament are only entertainers. He mentioned this during the Matale District Summit of the party. Leader of the Jathika Janabalawege, MP Andukumar Dissanayake, said that a dialogue has been created on the economic crisis, stating whether Ranil Wickremesinghe will solve it. The JVP leader said that the Prime Minister cannot solve it because he has commenced the change of posts again. SLFP leader Maithripala Sirisena said that they would support while being in the party, but some of them have joined the government. A struggle should be made to establish a new government to reflect the people's opinion. There is political instability in the country. The people do not accept the government. The instability can be ended only by giving the opportunity for the people to select a government, he says. Well, meanwhile, Samagi Janabalawege MP Mayantha Dissanayake says that conducting an election cannot be approved irrespective of the political party proposing it.
He said that the Samagi Janabalawege will support any positive proposal of the government. He mentioned this during a media briefing today. MP Rajitha Senaratne also expressed his views on this occasion. MP Rajitha Senaratne said that he believes this government will not last even 1 month. The previous government ended due to a deal between Ranil and Maitri. He said that Champika was imprisoned at the end of the government. He further said that they can sit with them on a policy, but not according to their words.
රනිල් හොඳ නම් අවුරුදු 5ක් තිබුණ ආණ්ඩුව නැති වුණේ කොහමද? රනිලුයි මෛත්‍රී දාපු ඩීල් හින්දානේ. ඒක ඉවර උනේ මමයි අන්තිමට චම්පිකයි හිරපත් කාලා. ඒගොල්ලොත් එක්ක අපිට වාඩි වෙන්න බැරි නෑ. වාඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන් යම්කිසි ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය ක්‍රියාදාමයක මිසක් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කටවචනට නෙවෙයි මතක තියාගන්න.
ආසියානු සංවර්ධන
MP Mayantha Dissanayake said that the Asian Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Bank and the World Bank has agreed to provide assistance to get food, medicines, fuel and gas. It is a good step taken by the government and Ranil. Samagi Janabalawege and Sajith Premadasa is prepared to support a positive proposal on behalf of the country. He said that he will not join the government or change the party, but the country should be built again.
The National Trade Union Front says maximum political reforms should be obtained from the change that has occurred. Convener of the front, Saman Ratnapriya, mentioned this during a media briefing today. Convener of the front, Saman Ratnapriya, said that the 21st Amendment to the Constitution should be brought immediately. Independent commissions are needed. Audit Commission should be introduced to prevent theft. Elections Commission should be given more powers. A commission is needed for mass media. Independence of the country should be ensured by giving more powers to the Human Rights Commission. The amendment should be given to prevent dual citizens from competing elections. The powers centered around the presidential post should be diverted to Parliament.
It is reported that another group of ministers is scheduled to take their oaths tomorrow. 13 ministers have been sworn in so far. Political sources say that it has been decided to limit the cabinet to 25 members, including the President and the Prime Minister. 13 cabinet ministers have been sworn in on 2 occasions. 9 new ministers representing Samagi Janabalawege and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party took their oaths on Friday. It is reported that another group of parliamentarians of Samagi Janabalawege and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party is holding discussions to join the all-party government. Representing the SLFP, Nimal Siripala De Silva took oaths as the Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation Services. Political sources say another 5 parliamentarians are prepared to accept ministerial portfolios. Apart from that, several parties have decided to support positive decisions of the government while staying in the opposition. A national council consisting of party leaders is scheduled to be set up according to the agreement between the Prime Minister and those parties. Plans have been made to set up 10 oversight committees and 5 financial committees and to give chairmanship of those committees to political parties which did not ministerial posts. A ship carrying humanitarian assistance of more than 2 billion rupees offered by the Indian people reached the country today.
Well, in fact, issuing a statement, the Indian High Commission said it includes 9,000 metric tons of rice, 50 metric tons of milk powder, and also more than 25 metric tons of medicines and medical supplies. Well, the stock of assistance is scheduled to be handed over to the local authorities by the Indian High Commission. Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, has sent the stock of aid from the Chennai harbour. On the 18th, the Tamil Nadu government has taken steps to provide 40,000 metric tons of rice, 500 metric tons of milk powder and a stock of medicine. The total value of the stock is more than 6 billion rupees. The goods have been given as the first stock of humanitarian assistance program, and those are scheduled to be distributed to the recipients island-wide.
The Relief Committee on Agriculture has recommended the government to provide a 50-kilogram sack of fertilizer for 10,000 rupees. Farmers say it should be provided during Yala season. They pointed out that it could prevent a future food scarcity. Farmers in the Anuradhapura district are facing difficulties without organic or chemical fertilizer. Nochiagama United Farmers Association said today there is no use of getting fertilizer late. The number of consumers arriving at the Anuradhapura weekly fair has reduced today due to high vegetable prices.
Professor Chandima Jeevandara says that 92 patients infected with the monkeypox virus have been reported from several countries. However, he said that unnecessary fear should not be entertained about the disease. Well, the monkeypox virus reported first from African countries, and 92 patients have been reported from US, Canada, Australia and England. The WHO said that there are the main 2 varieties of the virus and the present one is not serious.
From May 13th, there are about 92 cases reported from worldwide, mainly from Western countries. WHO has given its consideration because of the rapid spread compared to previous small monkeypox virus. And also, it's important to understand WHO has given some concern because the new cases has been found without any travel links to the endemic regions of the monkeypox virus. The monkeypox virus is endemic in African countries, and there are 2 main clades called Congo Basin clades and West African clade, and the one which is spreading currently is belonging to the West African clade, which is the milder version. And when we talk about the symptoms of the illness we get following the monkeypox virus, and usually it's the fever, headache, body aches, and there is a lymph node enlargement. And it's very important to understand this is not a disease which is currently existing in Sri Lanka, and there are diseases which has similar symptoms which you need to be mindful of. For example, dengue and other illnesses, they have the similar symptom profile, so you should not miss important common diseases and thinking of a disease caused by monkeypox virus. And also the transmission of this virus is mainly through very close contact. It could be a close contact of a person, or direct contact with another person, or maybe contact with a contaminated bed linen or something, whatever the things that a patient has used can be a source of transmitting material. Compared to COVID-19, this is not an unknown virus. This is a known virus. This virus has been there in the world for many decades, and also there are effective treatment available to treat the disease. Apart from that, there is a licensed approved vaccine specific to this monkeypox virus which is available, and if needed it can be produced. The mass production is a possibility, and the infection is mostly mild, and there are instances sometimes children may get severe disease, and also if some pregnant mothers and also people with a weakened immune system also can get a severe disease, but very rarely. Compared to COVID-19, as per the current available data, it spreads slowly, and if someone gets the disease, it's easy to detect because they have characteristic skin lesions. Currently, all over the world, the scientists are proactively researching and finding about this virus. So, learning from the COVID-19 pandemic, it's easy to find more about the virus because we are just passing a COVID-19 pandemic. When we consider our Sri Lankan situation, it's detected by a PCR, and genetic sequencing also can be performed, and all this technology is available readily in Sri Lanka because with the COVID-19 these facilities were made available to most of the hospitals in Sri Lankan setting. So it's a matter of getting down the necessary reagents. So we have already ordered our reagents for our lab at the University of Sri Jagadhanpura, so we'll be ready by next week. So I'm sure Minister of Health labs also will be ready if necessary to diagnose a possible monkeypox virus emerging in Sri Lanka.
Well, from the local story, Sharon, we are moving on to a top international story, which of course has a Sri Lankan relevance as well, because Australia's new leader has vowed to take the country in a new direction with a big shift in climate policy.
Anthony Albanese, who won yesterday's election with the opposition centre-left Labour Party, said Australia could become a renewable energy superpower. Meanwhile, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has extended his congratulatory wishes to the newly elected Australian Prime Minister. Sri Lankan government is looking forward to working with the new Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. The President in a tweet has said he is expecting to work closely with the new Prime Minister to maintain and further strengthen the bilateral ties between both nations. He is to be sworn in as Prime Minister tomorrow, but it is not clear whether his party will have a majority in Parliament. Climate change was a key concern for voters after 3 years of record-breaking bushfire and flood events. Outgoing Prime Minister Scott Morrison, the leader of an outstanding Liberal National coalition, thanked the miracle of Australian people after conceding. Labor has so far secured 72 seats, 4 seats short of the majority in a 151-member lower house of Parliament, according to the partial results. The centre-right coalition, led by Prime Minister Scott Morrison, has so far secured 51 seats. Morrison conceded defeat yesterday, even though the vote counting was still underway. Final results could take time as the counting of a record number of postal votes is completed. If Labor cannot secure an outright victory, then Australia will have a hung parliament for the first time since 2010. Anthony Albanese, who will be heading Australia's first Labor government, is almost a decade, also promised to adopt more ambitious emissions targets. He vowed yesterday to make the country a renewable energy superpower. However, he has so far refused calls to phase out coal use or to block the opening of new coal mines. It is noteworthy that 3 Sri Lankans living in the state of Victoria contested in the Australian federal election this time. Labor candidate Cassandra Fernando won a seat, becoming the first Sri Lankan-born woman in Australian Parliament. Another Sri Lankan, Mr. R. Pereira of the Liberal Party, competed with her and lost. She gained 57.5% of the vote, while her Sri Lankan opponent polled 42.5%. Cassandra Fernando immigrated to Australia in 1999 with her parents when she was 11 years old. Meanwhile, Virosh Pereira, the other Liberal Sri Lankan candidate for the Scullin seat, but lost to his Labor rival.
Sri Lankans flying high down under. And coming back home, we're moving on to the protest area in Galway. The protest in front of the presidential secretariat at Galway's Green continued for the 44th day today. Well, the protesters stayed last night at the place shouting various slogans. A protester who arrived on a bicycle for 3 days from Kirinochi, Dharmapuram area, he arrived today. He handed over a letter containing problems to the office established at the place. Meanwhile, members of the organization called Sri Lankan tourists arrived at the place today from the Viharamadevi Park. They organized a walk under the theme Chase Away Corrupt Rulers Who Destroy the Environment to coincide with World Biodiversity Day, which falls today. A conference was held at the Tear Gas Cinema Hall at the Golface Green in connection with the day.
Two suspects have been arrested with more than 450 kilograms of Kerala cannabis. The suspects, including a woman, have been arrested at Sapugaskanda, Gonavala area. The raid has been conducted by the officials of the Police Anti-Narcotic Bureau. They said that the cannabis has been stacked in 219 packets. The suspect woman is a resident of the Badula area. The other suspect is a resident of the Gonavala area. Police have taken into custody a small lorry and a motor car used to transport cannabis.
Well, the Kovina Buddhist temple in Los Angeles has been vested with the Sangha as the biggest Buddhist temple in the U.S. under the patronage of the Venerable Tirukunnamale Ananda Thera. Well, the building in Kovina, Los Angeles, was developed as a Buddhist center. Chairman of the Los Angeles Buddhist Temples Trust Board, Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and Mrs. Jayasinghe have contributed to the development. A group of Buddhist monks representing the Mahasangha around the world attended the ceremony. The main Dhamma hall of the temple was named after Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and Aisha Jayasinghe. The relics shrine, built with financial donations of the Secretary to the Temple Attorney-at-Law Ajit Munasinghe and Treasurer Malki Munasinghe, was also vested with the Sangha.
For that, I wish you all the best. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the people really bless you.
Well, this is news from the National News Studio. We take a short break and we'll be back after the break, and we'll be moving on to the international news segment.
Hot and spicy, cheering got baby. Kappe match a Majabi, Sarah Devi. Hit the Kala Natavina, one minimum Vinuna, Sarah Davi, and I go to me from the mouth, fun Kapare Plavina, said take a Kanekuna, Sarah Davi, and I go to me from the mouth. Prima cut to me, Fantamai.
Welcome back to the news, and we take a look at foreign news now. Russia attacked Ukrainian forces with airstrikes and artillery in the east and the south, targeting command center troops and ammunition depots as well, the Russian Defense Ministry said. Spokesman for the Defense Ministry said air-launched missiles hit 3 command points, 13 areas where troops and Ukrainian military equipment were amassed, as well as 4 ammunition depots in the Donbas region. In Ukraine's southern region of Mykolaiv, Russian rockets hit a mobile anti-drone system near the settlement of Hanikwa, around 100 kilometers northeast of Mykolaiv city, with further said. Russia has attempted to break into the city, and this is where 4 separate directions, the governor of Ukraine's Luhansk region said. He also said that the attempts were unsuccessful, but that shelling of residential areas continued. He added that a bridge connecting the city to nearby had been destroyed. On to sports news now. I'm bringing you details from the Indian Premier League. Gujarat Titans, Rajasthan Royals, Super Giants and the Royal Challengers Bangalore were qualified for the semi-final round of the Indian Premier League.
All right, the excitement is getting bigger and much intense. The 69th match of the series was played between Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians yesterday at Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. Batting first, Delhi Capitals scored 159 for 7 in 20 overs. Roman Pavel scored 43 and Rishad Pant scored 39. Jasprit Bumrah took 3 wickets and Ramandeep Singh took 2 wickets. In reply, Mumbai Indians won the match by scoring 160 for 5 in 19.1 overs. Ishant Kishan scored 48 and King David scored 34. Onrij Notje and Shardul Thakur took 2 wickets each. Well, on that entertaining and exciting note, it's time to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.